My name is Alex. I have an Instagram and also a YouTube, Love Sugar Show. So thanks for taking your time for joining us.
Yeah, of course.
So I have to ask, how long did it take to get ready? Because I see you're
Uh, yeah. I know it looks like a lot more than it is. It probably took about 15 minutes. Um,
okay. That's not bad.
yeah. Yeah. It's a mask, so it's mostly just makeup underneath and then just put it on.
Okay, so that's not bad at all then.
Yeah.
So that's usually the first question I ask anyone is usually how's everything going, not just in your music life, but also in your personal life as well.
Um, it's been really good. I mean, music is like half of my life, and then my job as a mechanical engineer is the other half, and both have been really good. Um, yeah, I mean, busy on both ends, but lots of good things coming up, so everything's been good.
That's awesome. We definitely need more engineers in the field for sure.
Oh yeah.
So I want to go ahead and just dive in. How do you feel that it's almost release day for the album?
Oh, I mean, this it's weird because like I mean, I've listened to this album like hundreds of times on my own, but
Hmm.
it's different when you get to that next phase where it's like, okay, now other people get to hear this for the first time after you've been obsessing over it for a very long time. So it's I think the first single is always the hardest for me because it's like the first big step into like this is the new era of the project. But once the first single comes out, it's kind of smooth sailing from there until the album comes out. So I am definitely nervous. It's the most personal release I've ever done lyrically.
Hmm.
So it's a little nerve-wracking sharing that with the world, but I mean, it's also very cathartic, and that's why I still do it. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm nervous yet excited. It's kind of it's a bit of both.
Well, it's always good to have like a balance too for each. So that's pretty cool. So about the album itself and the sound for people just kind of discovering the band, what would you consider like the heart of the entire project?
My identity is the first thing that I want people to know. Obviously, if you know the music draws them in first, that's great. But this entire project was built around like what you see here and my face and what I do and how I handle trying to exist as myself in a world that wasn't really built for this level of self-expression.
Mhm.
And this album especially is more focused on kind of well it's called home because it was me exploring what is home to me and what does home mean and kind of how you decide what ultimately is home to you. And so it's all based around my identity. It's all based around trying to find yourself in a world where you don't feel like you belong in and just hoping that, you know, other people can also relate to that on their own level. But yeah, that's pretty much what it's about.
And would you say this is kind of like a homey, I guess, where you would exist in the background, like the album cover?
Yes, exactly.
I do love it. I love like the pink. It kind of reminds me of like a sunset, kind of like the pink and the red. It just looks, I would totally live here.
I appreciate that.
But I did take a listen to the album. It felt like really layered. So how did it kind of like all come together?
Um, it's not, I guess, it's not as methodical as people probably think it is. I kind of just, when I first start writing like new material for a new release, I go into like exploration mode where I just kind of write a bunch of different stuff until something feels like a natural evolution of the sound, which was Flesh Throne, the first single, was like the first song that I wrote for the album. And then that kind of defined the rest of it sonically.
Mhm.
But when it comes to like, you know, the first like half, I'll just kind of write whatever I want, whatever feels good. And then the second half, I'll challenge myself as a writer to do things differently. Like if I've been writing, like 5 minutes is like my sweet spot. So I was intentionally writing songs that were 3 or 4 minutes and then writing some that were like 7 minutes long. So, and that challenges me to make something different. But I already have like the sonic idea of this album started. So it's not too difficult to keep writing. But I just don't want to write an album where all the songs are pretty much the same structure with the same, feel. I want to break it up for not just me, but for other people as well. So it's kind of more just tuning into what I want it to feel like and sound like, and then just letting that guide me through the process.
So was this kind of like an easier album to put together, or did you run into any like hard stuff?
Um, it depends on I guess my flow state and my inspiration level. And that's kind of like a nebulous thing that I can't even really pin down. It's like if I'm in a flow state, I think this album I wrote like the last 3 or 4 songs in like 2 weeks. And that was just because I was in like a really, really good flow state where I just kept churning out songs. But then I'll have these big gaps for like months where I can't find inspiration. So it can be frustrating when it's kind of like this external weird feeling that you can't really tell, like, hey, I want to write a song right now, and it's like if it's not time, I mean, it's not time. So
Mm.
it's I wouldn't call it difficult, but it definitely can be frustrating and challenging when you want to just write music, but you can't really decide when that is.
So have you discovered anything that kind of puts you in like the creative mood and kind of gets you going?
I battle with that constantly. I'm actually in like a downturn right now because I'm trying to write the next album, and I had a really strong flow state like a few months ago where I wrote like 5 songs in like a month, and I was like, oh my God, I just want to keep going, and it just kind of stopped. So I've been trying to find ways to bring that back, and I think it's because there's so many elements at play. I haven't really pinned it down yet, but I've tried
Mhm.
like sometimes watching movies, like I'll get inspiration from some like visual or some sound. So I try to consume more media when I'm like this, watch more movies, watch more shows, go see shows. Because those are usually moments where like I'll hear something and be like, oh, I need to write something right now. So that's my best advice is just kind of look for inspiration in places that are not the usual.
Gotcha. That's pretty cool. My niece always says boba and sushi. I don't know if that will help you or not, but she said like that inspires her even when she's like feeling down.
That's really interesting. I love boba and sushi, and I've had both multiple times between now and then. It doesn't inspire me, but I do love it. So,
Hey, love creates inspiration, maybe. So the album is named Home. What does home mean for you?
oh, yeah, that's a hard one. Even though I mean the easy answer is like home is kind of where you choose it to be. And I think for me, I like by the end of the album, I kind of feel like I need to make this place my home because I can't really go to the one that you're seeing like in the visuals there. Like that's where I'm really from, but where I'm at now, I need to kind of make this one feel like what what home feels like, which is a lot of the people you're with, the environment you're in, and just spending time in one place for a while. Because if you keep moving around, home doesn't really come with you as much. You kind of have to put your roots in one place and stay there. And I'm doing the best I can to figure out how to make here feel like home. And it's not easy because this place isn't, like I said, very accepting of, people like myself, but I have found the people and I've found the communities that are accepting, and that's kind of where I'm trying to put more of my time and energy into, and also hopefully improve this environment for other people like myself.
Yeah, for sure. So that being said, it doesn't really feel like this feels like home to you. So can you describe what that place would look like, what it would feel like?
Um, a lot of the album does that, and the album cover especially probably does it better than I could explain. Because I spent a lot of time looking within myself to figure out what it looked like before I hired the artist to make it. Because it's hard when I don't have proper recollection of it, so it's more of an emotional, like, you know, test to look at pictures of things and see like, okay, does this feel like an emotional pull to me or not? But I mean, home is, I know a lot of people are going to think that it's like hell, and it's not. We're a bit more sophisticated than that. It looks a little bit more like a old world gothic place that's like got that kind of darker overcast and
Hmm.
but also kind of cozy in a way. I don't know how much that's just my perspective, but um that's kind of what home feels like to me. I I mean there's still a lot more I have to explore in terms of like,
Yeah.
the exact location that I was in and like what that felt like and but the visual honestly it does a lot of weight in this.
So I see like a little bit of lights coming down from the sky. Is there also like a sun, or is it like kind of different than our sun, or?
Right. It's there is no like sun per se. I haven't quite explored what it is, but it's we're kind of hollowed out in like a stone, I don't know, underground type thing. It might be like an artificial light just to give some sense of like a cycle. Because there are humans there. I mean, I think we kind of picked up on some of the stuff that they have to not make them freak out so much that it's so different. So we've adapted and learned, and I want to say that that's probably some artificial thing that so it's not like pitch black all the time. You can't see anything. Yeah.
I was just asking because I'm like, okay, so if there's no sun, there's no sunburn, less skin cancer, so that's a plus.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly.
So, what do you hope your listeners feel when they listen to the album for the first time?
Oh, I I know as someone who consumes a lot of music myself, I actually don't really pay attention to the lyrics in the first like listen. So it's I would hope that people would. I mean, the people I do know people that do. So for the people that do pay attention to lyrics, I hope that that's the first thing that they kind of pick up on because there's a bit of like speaking and singing parts, especially that can be more clear on what the lyrics are. But for the rest of the people like myself that don't really consume lyrics the first time around, I hope that there's a feeling of just being taken on a journey because that was kind of how I chose the order of the songs, and I like to have a lot of dynamic changes. So there's like piano breaks. There's you know there's moments of solace and peace in between all the other stuff, and I hope that people just kind of feel that emotional journey that this album is supposed to take them through.
And in your opinion, with black metal, do you think it's really as dark as other people see it, or do you think it's way more deep than that?
Oh, I mean, there's some that are definitely very like, Hail Satan kind of stuff, just straight to the core. But then there's also stuff that's more focused on just like life experiences and real world things, fantasy. There's a lot of stuff that really is not of what people think black metal as. And I mean, obviously this is one of those cases, but fortunately there's enough diversity in the genre that you don't have to always listen to the pure satanic stuff to listen to black metal.
Yeah. Where would you say this kind of falls just for listeners, like on that huge scale?
It's more fantasy and more real world experience. I only say fantasy because I mean, while I don't consider it fantasy, I consider it my own universe. I think, at first glance people will see it that way. It's not like I'm offended by it. I get it. I think, I'm totally fine with being associated with that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm wanting to lean more into like the real world, like relatable experiences. Yeah.
And we all definitely have a lot of that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So on this album, did you try like any new instruments, any like something new that you haven't tried previously before?
Um, I mean, singing is a first thing for this project. Singing, speaking, like the first release was very much just very simplistic. Um, Even like instrumentally, it was super simplistic. The lyrics were very straightforward. The vocals were just like straight black metal, simple. This
Mm.
album is a lot more dynamic. In like the vocals are very much more stylistic. Even the instrumentation, like I tried to step away from just pure simplistic chords, which the first release was intentionally simplistic because I wanted to challenge myself to just write something simple.
Hmm.
But this one is kind of, I feel like, leaning more towards like I want a blend of simple and somewhat complex. So the piano is a lot more dynamic. There's a lot more going on with that. It's just more intricate and interesting than the first release.
Awesome. Well, like I said, I listened to it. I really liked it. I've really been getting into black metal, so it's definitely up my alley.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
So I have to ask, what was the hardest part of the creation, kind of from start to finish?
Um, what was the hardest part? I don't know.
That's a good thing when it doesn't pop up right away.
I don't know. Like I don't really have like a hardest part because I mean a lot of it's just I enjoy all of it. So even if it was like challenging, I didn't really like pin it as something difficult in the process. Like there might have been like a certain lyric section that was hard to write, or like maybe a certain section of a song that was just like I don't know what to do with this riff, but I don't really see those as hard. I mean, they're challenges, they're fun challenges. So that's probably why I didn't think of it as hard, but um yeah, no, I don't really have anything specific.
That's a good thing. So what kind
Yeah.
of mood or headspace were you in when creating it then?
It was huge self-exploration. Um, First time I really thought about what is home to me, and so it was like this band in general is an excuse for me to explore my identity and really look inward and see like what calls to me. And that was this album especially was like really going outside of something that I have not thought about before.
Hmm.
So it pushed me, especially lyrically, to really think about things differently than the first release.
So what made you start thinking about home? Is there anything that triggered it or something that happened?
Um, I want to say a friend asked me the question of like, what is home like for you? And I was like, that's a really good question. I have never thought of this before. So it opened me up to really diving into something that I just, yeah, I had never thought of. Like I know, for example, like Eternally Within Us, like that song was about like, what how are demons born? And I think it was something else my friend asked me. It was like, well, how were you born? And I'm like, I have no clue. I have to think about that one. And writing these songs was like an excuse to be like, okay, I need to just look inward and see what the hell is going on in this place that I'm from. Like what it's all the emotional stuff that tells me like, is this home or is this just what I think home is? So before this album, I didn't know what home looked like. I didn't know what it felt like. And now I can finally say that I do know. But at the same time, there's kind of a resolution of, well, I have to kind of find that here instead. But yeah,
So it kind of sounds like you were in exploration mode to kind of figure out like how you felt, where things came from, all of that.
yeah, exactly.
And for those who haven't got to listen to the album yet, what kind of theme will they enter into?
Um, are you thinking like lyrical theme or?
Yeah, lyrically, or just the whole album all together.
Um,
Or you
God,
can
I'm
do both.
terrible at that. I'm terrible at naming my own stuff in like short words or anything. Um, yeah, I don't even know what to describe it as, honestly.
Maybe like a journey with you.
Yeah, I mean, I will say the order of the songs I'm always super picky about. I want it to feel like it makes sense both lyrically and like sonically together. Like you feel like if you listen to it from front to back, like it would make sense. And especially putting transitions between songs that flow seamlessly, that happens on the second half of the album a lot. And
Hmm.
I love hearing that kind of stuff. And it just it's meant to be like an experience from front to back. Um, that yeah, that's what I can say.
Awesome. So, what's one thing that you wish more people knew about black metal?
Kind of coming back to the like, not all of it's satanic. I think a lot of people that don't know black metal very well just assume like when you say black metal, Mayhem is the first band that comes to mind, and they have a very not so great history. And I think a lot of people just assume like all black metal bands are like that. And like any genre, you have your main staple band, but there's a ton of bands that have diversified the genre ever since that, first band kind of defined it. And I've also been kind of showing people more black metal that have that idea that like, oh, that's the only thing that exists is satanic stuff. And it's like, no, I mean, sonically it can have similar stuff, but lyrically it can be completely different. And so trying to kind of show people that like, yeah, a lot's changed since Mayhem like 30, 40 years ago. So, you know, I'd encourage people to kind of explore genres that they think they know and really see like, is that really what it is? Um, because most of the time it's not.
What you're saying is it's an open club. It's literally for anyone.
Yes, absolutely.
Not sure I play it in church, depending on which band it is, but it's for everyone.
Yes, yes, exactly.
So, is there a direction, sound, or a collab that you'd love to explore that people may not expect, like maybe in a next album?
I It's funny, collaborations are something that I've thought about, but I feel like with this project especially, I would have a really hard time picking somebody just due to the nature of like it being about my identity. It would need to fit the theme of the project. And so I haven't really considered anyone seriously. I mean, I have a dream collaboration that is like never gonna happen. I would love to collab with Amy Lee of Evanescence someday, but that's like huge, big goals because I her vocals on like heavier stuff would just make me lose my mind. So but that's like a whole different thing in terms of like realistic collaborations. I've thought about it. I would love to do it. I need to get that gut feeling that's like, okay, this makes sense with
Hmm.
this band's like whole theme, or else I'm not just gonna do a collab to do a collab. So I'm thinking about it. I would like to. Yeah.
Well, the thoughts in the universe. So,
Yes.
there we go.
Yes.
So, now that the album's almost released, what's next?
Um, I mean, touring, that's like the next thing that we're working on and just kind of really putting this album out there as much as we can. I mean, I'm definitely writing the next like album right now. I'm not somebody who waits. I love writing music so much that I'm like, why do I need to stop?
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't come out for a while, like I just want to create it and really take my time to perfect it and make it ready for the next round. So, yeah, writing, touring, playing more shows, really hoping we can get on some festivals as well and just really push this album out there and give it time to actually be heard by a lot of people.
Where are you in like the kind of, I guess, touring stage? Just kind of looking at venues, looking at festivals.
Yeah, we got a booker lined up right now to get some shows up in like Washington, Oregon, like just like the upper West Coast area. Start off with that and then I mean I'd like to play more places, but we gotta this will be our first tour ever as a band. I don't want to go in too deep right away, but I would love to do more in the future.
Yeah, for sure. Kind of start out small, see how it goes, and kind of branch out.
Yeah, exactly.
So I have one last question here for you. Is there anything you'd like to say to fans that have been with you from the beginning, or anyone just kind of interested in listening and kind of jumping on?
Right, right. Anyone who's been listening in the beginning, I holy shit. Um, I'm shocked that I have anybody listening. I've always kind of been somebody that just, I put out the stuff that speaks to me, and if other people like it, that's like incredible. It means so much, especially with this project, because it's just so personal that when I meet people who actually resonate with it in any way, it's just like such a huge compliment. But I also hope to, I want to help people feel like they're not alone in these situations. And
Hmm.
So I love it when people come up to me and say like, I love this in any way. And then for the people who are showing any interest, I mean, same thing. Wow, thank you. I I can see in a world today where there's so much music out there, like to have anybody interested in listening to this project at all just means so much because we're so oversaturated, for better or for worse. And yeah, I thank you for, showing any interest in the project. Thank you for even looking at my face and looking at the album and taking any time to even care to just check out the music that, means so much to me.
Well, for anyone who's interested, the album, if you haven't caught it yet, is called Home. It does released on December the 6th, which is tomorrow. And
January 16th.
oh, sorry,
That was
January.
a typo. Yeah, it
That
was
was
a
the
typo.
typo. So sorry, you guys have to wait a lot longer.
Yes, yes.
And if you want to tell them where they can check it out and keep up with the band.
Yes, we have the album on Bandcamp. You can find it under Visellis, and you can pre-order it through. There's vinyl, CD, digital, all that stuff. It will be on Spotify and all their streaming platforms as well. But if you pre-order it digitally, you will also get the first four singles that we have out straight away. So yeah, and if you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you prefer, we'll also keep you up to date there on any future shows, releases, all that stuff.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much for taking your time for doing this interview. And when it's up, I'll definitely make sure to tag you on Instagram and if you have a YouTube as well.
Yes, we do.
Okay, cool. I will tag you on both then.
Perfect. Thank you so much, by the way. This has been very, very pleasant. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And has got a twinkle in his eye.